Give me a good beat. Oh, yeah. Welcome to Hut Hut Podcast with my man John Feliciano. I have no idea how to rap, but he looks like he has a time or two. Hut Hut. Nice Triple F shirt. Let's go. Looking good. Let's party. All right. All right, now let's start for real. Welcome to the Hut Hut Podcast. One of my favorite human beings, and would have called him a little brother years ago, but now just a brother. 8th year in the league, become one of the most solid friends and relationships and buddies I've ever had throughout my NFL career. So I could not be more excited than to introduce Mr. John Feliciano. What's up, buddy?
Hey, bud. Wow, man, that touched me.
I appreciate it. Sorry I didn't have your shirt on. I used it up with Bees' podcast a few days ago. So, and I trained in it today. Got in the sauna, so it was a little stinky. So I had to throw it in the washer. But I love that shirt you have on. Where'd you get it? Let's see that thing. Oh yeah,
Hut Hut.
little Hut Hut podcast with a little.
My buddy gave this to me.
I love that with a little Triple F flavor, 2-in-1, the 2-in-1 special, the two things that fire me up.
This was not planned, by the way. It just happened to be like that.
Absolutely. All right, so talk to me. New York Giants. We'll start off with the football stuff, and then we'll get to the real life juicy stuff, the why John and Lee love each other stuff. But how's it going, man? How have you liked the great state of New Jersey?
Surprisingly great. You think of New Jersey? I didn't know much about it, and I was instantly went to thinking about Oakland and how terrible that was. But no, I'm out here in Franklin Lakes and New Jersey. It's amazing town, and it's been great over here with Dabes and Bobby. It's been wonderful. This year has revitalized me.
I love it. That's the thing that fired me up when obviously Joe Shane got the job as the GM, and then we all assumed, you got to. I know, Joe and Dave's are my guys, so I shouldn't say too much. But we all assumed that might end up happening. And then, obviously, when it did, obviously Joe Shane had to go through the interview process and make sure that he didn't hire Dable before doing what he needed to do as the general manager for the New York Giants and doing his job. But, man, when that finally happened.
Are you just trying to lay out there's no tampering or anything?
I don't know, I guess. Bottom line, I love Joe, I love Dave's, and I'm assuming that, he had to do things a certain way to make sure that it was equal opportunity. But Brian Dable should have been Brian Dable should have been a head coach a long time ago. We both know that. It's finally showing why. If he wasn't such a stubborn, hard-headed joker from South Buffalo, he probably would have been a head coach 10 years ago. But finally, he's there and leading men and doing things the right way, man. It just fires me up. And then obviously with Bobby J. So Felice's O-line coach, Bobby Johnson, was the assistant O-line coach for the Bills when I was a rookie and literally just impacted my career beyond measure. Then became the tight end coach, multiple spots, ended up being the tight end coach in Oakland when I hit free agency. And really the reason I ended up in Oakland was Bobby Johnson. And so if it wouldn't have been for Bobby Johnson, literally we wouldn't know each other. With you being a rookie with me and Rodney out in Oakland, I'm going to make sure –
That was your first year there, right?
Yep. So me and Hud, I'll never forget, I got on, and I'll give Hud a hard time for this. I'm going to have him on next. But I go to Oakland in free agency. Obviously, it's before the draft. So I had no idea who John Feliciano was at this moment. Me and Rodney did combine training together, which, by the way, the combine training is going great at Triple F, bro. I can't wait till.
Yeah, you guys. It looks great, man.
Yeah,
I'll definitely. Well, how long will that be running? I can definitely try to get down there. I'm trying to get to Tennessee ASAP.
I fully expect you to be here. Hopefully not for a few more weeks, but I fully expect you to be here because I got some stud interior offensive linemen here with me. I'm so much more comfortable helping the tackles. You know what I mean? Like Rodney's season is obviously over. So one of the guys had a question the other day just about getting rushed on his snap hand, and I'm pretty sure I know how to answer the question. Right? But I wanted to make 100% sure that I told him exactly what an NFL center would tell him. So I just FaceTime Rodney, and the only thing Rodney said that I wouldn't have said is punch him in the head. And I'm like, love that. I love that. So that was cool. But yeah, I can't wait to get you down here, man. These guys are awesome. But speaking of the combine, I was at IMG with HUD, so we had kind of kept in touch our whole careers. And then we both went to Oakland in free agency. Oakland had a ton of money. They were very had a bunch of cap room. You know, the Jamarcus Russell mess had finally gone away and all that stuff. So not that he was a mess, but the money situation with him was a mess. So, anyways, I get in the limousine, and it like the Raiders had sent over to the hotel or whatever, and I had on like blue jean pants, which for me that's my Sunday finest, and like a Nike pullover. Bro, Rodney was in a custom suit, top to bottom, and I'm looking at him like, bro,
You know how he is.
we're signing with the Raiders, right? Like, this is the most rugged team in the league. He's like, man, my agent told me I should wear this. It looks better. Blah blah blah. I'm like, man,
Well, that was the first time he was the highest paid center in the league, wasn't it?
no question, no question. So he was
Yeah.
all fired
Yeah.
up. He's finally gonna have that long money. And then fast forward, he signed an extension like 3 or 4 years later, and he looked like hell. And I'm like, yep, there you go. Finally, signing in free agency like an actual ball player instead of trying to impress people like you know how to tie a tie. But he's the best. But we both signed in March, I guess. Then you get drafted in April, and I mean our group texts go strong to this day, man. That's what's so special about pro football and the relationships and just the human beings that you grow to love and become brothers and go through things with. So all those nights at the Napa Valley Marriott, 4 years strong. So man,
Ooh.
I miss you, buddy. Well, Oakland to Buffalo to first 6 years with me, and then you lose me. How's that been going?
I haven't felt right ever since. There's so much more things I got to do because you're not around to do it.
I'm sorry, man. At least I taught you how to do it, or at least tried to, anyways.
Yeah, but you just do it so much better.
Well, I don't know about that. All I know is you're respected by all, and that's one thing I always say, man. When a former coach that you played for brings you into a new team, that says something. And especially when you're also respected by your teammates. Like everyone out there knows you're not a butt kisser. You're not out there saying the right things or playing the game. You're just loving on your teammates and being a dirtbag. And when on the field that is. And it's the same thing with me. Like it always gave me the ultimate pride when former coaches I'd been with called me in free agency, like, "Hey man, I want to get you out here." And I'm like, "All right, well, I never kissed that coach's butt. I never felt like I was trying to impress him. I just wanted to be a great teammate and play the game the right way." And then when dudes that you've been with before have that much respect for you, when Brian Dable says, "I want this guy to be my center," my first ever opportunity being the head coach in an NFL, that just shows the kind of dude you are and why I love your butt so much. And I'm working on my language, by the way. That's why I'm saying butt. I'm out here leading kids, buddy. I got a bunch of kids here that I'm trying to lead, which you'll be here with me soon. Soon to a theater
Yes,
near
sir.
you. John Feliciano moving to Kingston, Tennessee to grow Triple F with me and do this youth athletic
Mm.
journey. So my dog, brothers for life. But after saying all that, Bobby Johnson, Brian Dable, Joe Shane, all our boys that I was with in Buffalo, obviously that are now running the Giant show and have you up there with them.
Hmm.
How's the Giants thing going, man?
Man, it's been great. This has probably been the most fun I had playing football in years, um, and being able to be with Bobby and Dave's. This is my fourth year. Bobby, this is my seventh out of eight years I've been with them. To be able to build relationships with them and really, it's been this year has just been so great because Dave's such a great man, and to see him succeed in New York, uh, I'm just so happy for him.
Absolutely, man. It's such a hostile environment there, as we all know. The fans have such high standards, and obviously the Giants have not fared well of late. And as soon as he got that job, man, I'm like, this is the job for him. Young quarterback,
Hmm.
a little bit of financial strain. I don't think the cap's in great shape, but the ability to kind of go up there with Joe and do things his way. And like I said, man, he's just a tough sucker, stubborn sucker from South Buffalo who loves
Yeah.
football, loves his players, knows how to relate to men, knows how to lead men, knows how to grow young quarterbacks. Like, it's just a no-brainer. And like I said, if he wasn't so dang hard-headed, he probably would have been a head coach 10 years ago. But the good Lord had a plan for him. I mean, I used to walk. I mean, what, he lived 4 houses down from me in Buffalo.
Yeah.
Just straight down the street. He'd be back there with a cigar in his mouth with his family. He's just a family man. You know, him and Beth are the best. So I'm juiced for you guys, man. And second round of the playoffs. Nobody saw that coming except for every single person inside that organization and inside that locker room. I'm assuming has no surprise, correct?
Right. As soon as I got here, I was impressed with how hard all these guys worked. Like every day, everyone came, and it wasn't a question if people were going to come to OTAs and people doing things hours after the day was done. Everyone was always content, like doing extra. Um, just last week when we got back after we beat the Vikings, every single parking spot was taken up. The next day, when I got there, it was like 9. Like these guys are really taking this serious and working their butt off, and I think it's showing.
Well, it starts at the top, man. When you're like I said, Brian Dable is a true leader of men. He called me the other day, FaceTime the other day. He was in the back with one of the guys that runs the facilities, and
Yeah,
not the owner, not some bigwig CEO. He was in the back with because that's him, man. Like I said, he's a Buffalo guy. He's a blue collar guy. He was in the back with I forget the guy's name. I should be better remembering people's names, but obviously the dude seemed like an awesome guy. He was back in the back, just does all the dirty work behind the scenes for the New York Giants, and that's
yeah.
who Brian Dable was spending his extra 30 minutes with that day that he had to smoke a cigar and just spend time. So that just shows who Dave's is. So he called me. He's like, man, I'm telling this guy about the time I broke my ankle in the locker room, which I will never forget. Once again, he
He
understands how
didn't
to.
he go out right after walkthrough, like with limping, like
Oh,
he didn't want to miss walkthrough.
I thought for sure he was going to a surgical table, man. I've never seen anything like it. And he's obviously top heavy, and that's not changed since he got to later in the season. It gets worse and worse
as
every year.
as Jamarcus Webb says, it gets
It gets
worse.
worse. Dave's man, that belly grows as the season goes on. That's his deal. But so had to be late in the season because he comes in there once again. Like you remember how I was, man. If a coach walked in the locker room, I was yelling at him immediately. Get out! This is
Hmm.
the players only. The whole deal. And Dable he was one of the few ones throughout my career that it's like when he walked in the locker room, it's like, all right, Dave's one of us. And he came over there to
Yeah.
Micah or Bees or somebody and started talking trash and like started chasing after one of them, and his foot hit a shoe or something that was on the ground. I've never seen an ankle fold over like that in my life. And he,
Oh.
and next thing you know, like it's legitimately swollen in black and blue. I mean, he's in the training room. They're taping like a splint to it, and he literally, like you said, an hour later doesn't miss walkthrough, doesn't miss practice the next day. Like it legitimately has a severe injury and didn't miss a second of work and just tried to act like it never happened, even though he couldn't hardly walk. It was awesome.
uh,
But that's Brian Dable, man. He's the best.
there's nothing better than watching him get hurt, isn't it?
Oh,
Isn't it great
oh,
the way
just
he like just rolls?
oh yeah, he went down. It was awesome. And once again, coaches don't come in the locker room and do that, man. And he wasn't in there trying to. That's the one thing I'll say is you have these players coaches. It's like they just want to be one of the guys, and it's like that wasn't Dable's thing. It wasn't like he made it crystal clear at all times. I'm your boss, and that's just an extreme leader of like I'm going to hold you accountable. I'm going to get on your butt, and I'm going
When he
to
was playing ice hockey with Josh,
yeah.
the foosball.
Yeah, but when it's every once in a while, I'm gonna show you all that I'm a real dude and that we're gonna have fun together. That way, when it's time to cuss you here in 2 hours and when it's time to crawl down your throat, I love you. And he's just so good about that, man. Which is how I knew if the quarterback caught on. Obviously, it's hard to win in this league with a young, struggling quarterback. I know if the quarterback caught on, which he obviously has, that you guys are gonna be hard to deal with. And it's been fun to watch it this year, man, because everyone there that deserves credit is getting it, and that's a lot of fun to watch from a guy who knows so many people that are up there with you all, which is awesome, man.
Hmm. Yeah, it's been great. It's been a great ride.
Heck yeah. Well, all right, enough football talk. let's talk about Tennessee. So I get with my buddy here. Like I said earlier, I go to Oakland in free agency. He gets drafted the same year, and then I signed again in free agency. So we played our first four. He played his first 4 years. I played my second 4 years, I guess you would call it. So 4 through 8, as you played 1 through 4, and then obviously Gruden released me, so we go to Buffalo together, which was
Yeah.
just doesn't happen. There's just you don't get to be with somebody like that in the NFL. It's not
I'm
for
the
long.
best. I'm the best recruiter ever. I was texting him. I was calling him. Yo, come back. Hang out with your boy.
No question.
Whining and dining him.
Yep, I thought because listen, it wasn't like Buffalo was winning Super Bowls at that point, and
No.
I told my wife Alicia, I'm saying Alicia like you don't know her, like I guess I'm telling the world, Alicia. But
Yeah.
anyways, so I tell her we're gonna go back to Buffalo, babe, and she's like, I could just feel the energy in the room, like I'm going to kill you. And then obviously we get back up there, and I give her crap about it now. I'm like, babe, what about it? Like it's just she doesn't miss a Bills game. Like if I walk in on a Sunday after being at the gym, or I'm running around, or I'm at the farm, or whatever, she's watching Josh and the boys. Like she loves Buffalo, man. It just became a part of our life, and obviously they traded me and released you, and things happen and all that stuff. It's pro football, it's a business, but it's a cool place, and I'm glad I was there with you and Josh and Dawson, and just helping them get their career started, and then I mean, there's all the guys. I could go on and on. Bees, just
Hmm.
our dudes. But after saying all that, Tennessee, man. Why did you decide to make the great state of Tennessee your home once you're done playing football?
I mean, I didn't have a choice. You just kept hounding me for years and years and years. You just got to come out once. You just got to come see it. You got to come see it. I went and saw it, and I was like, dang it. Why is Lee always right? And it was the best compromise. My wife wanted to go to Minnesota. There's no way I was going to Minnesota. We couldn't stay in Florida. So we started looking and wanted to be close to my buddy. And it's just a beautiful place. When I went there and went to Brock's basketball game and saw the community, and I just started envisioning what how it would be if my kids were there. And yeah, kind of sold it. That sold me right there.
I love it, man. I love it. Got a farm up in Kingston, and then I've been up there getting it redneck ready for you, getting you adjusted to Tennessee life.
What a job you've been doing.
Hey, that's all
I
right,
mean,
man.
you might be able to do something on that on the side too. You just keep going. You're just an empire.
Well, I'm gonna after I build up Feliciano Farm. Alicia went and decorated the little barn house the other day, so we're about to hand it off to you, and I'm triple effing it, man. Like these, just pouring into this community and these kids has been. I don't want to call it a distraction because that's not what it is. It's my passion, and it's what I'm going to do the next 20 years of my life. Once that NFL pension hits, somebody else needs to come down here and chase these kids around. But this community got me for 20 years, and it's just been awesome, bro. And I know you're passionate about it. I know that you didn't have a silver spoon to say the least. You didn't grow up in a mansion or in a house with a foundation for that matter. So how fired up are you, man, to come down here and just go on this journey with me, bro, and just pour into this community, and especially some of the at-risk kids and less fortunate kids that we have through here that are great athletes and don't have men in their life. And that's what I'm the most excited about John Feliciano being here is being able to impact these kids in this community, and I'm just juiced up, bro.
Yeah. Throughout my life, when the hardest part of my life, there was always someone that I could rely on, whether if it was a coach, one of my high school football coach, or my high school basketball coach, one of my mom's boyfriends at a time, uh, someone that you can lean on during tough times, and someone to point you in the right direction. If I can be like one of those guys to one of these young kids in East East Tennessee,
East Tennessee, baby. Yep,
East
I got
East Tennessee,
that's it right there. You got it.
then my life would be a success.
It's awesome, man. and it's so true. Like pro football is great for a lot of reasons. That's where it's the most great for me. Like I'm so screwed up and flawed. Like I said, my number one chore for this podcast with you, who's by far my craziest buddy, was all right, Lee. My first two podcasts, it's like, all right, my language is. The poor guy's having to edit this podcast. I'm like, holy smokes, man! I'm so sorry. I'm going to get better. Prayed about it all week, and it's like, all right, me and John are going to conquer this. But it's just been awesome. Man, I did a first podcast earlier with one of our athletes who's grown a lot around here, and it's just kid energy, man. It's just young athletes who are playing the game for the right reason. There's no money involved, and
Yeah. Oh,
and yeah, and none of their buddies are getting fired every day. None of their buddies are getting treated poorly or like a piece of meat, and then the combine guys are in, and like I said, I don't want to call this a distraction because it's not that, but it's just so hard for dudes to transition out. And I watched it with my own father, and I've watched it with so many teammates over the years, and I'm just excited, man, that, like I said, you're in year 8, you're pushing for a Super Bowl here, and I can't wait to sit back and tune in on Saturday once I get finished up over here at Triple F, or I might be with these combine guys actually, so I might just have it on in the gym. We'll be going crazy. One of our combine guys, Alex Pilstrom, who's from Illinois, he's a center from Illinois. He watched every play the other day of you just because I've been talking about you. He was all fired up and excited. So
you saw that block then. You know,
yeah, so you get jiggy with it.
The salt, bro. So every week.
Can't be giving out the names of your plays. Dave will be calling both of us.
Yeah, you're right. Sorry,
Dave.
Anyways,
Just change the name.
We have these like chips that record like our top speeds or whatever.
Oh, nice.
Your boy was at 13.7 miles per hour. Number 2 that week. Like
on the O line, not the whole team.
No, the whole. Well, we
no
have
chance.
There's an O line, D line, and then there's everyone else.
Okay, fair enough. I was about to say.
It was right behind Leo.
Who's Leo?
Williams. Leonard Williams.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry, I've always just called
Your
him.
boy was.
Are you talking about when you pulled on the touchdown? He got called back, right?
No, it was a touchdown. Yeah.
They called it. Yeah, I was going crazy in my living room on that one.
Dude, we had a 20-play drive.
I know. I was.
20-play drive, dude. And on play like 15, we called another toss crack, bro. Can't breathe.
And that's the thing about me is during those especially those first 3 years in Oakland when it was me and Clive and I was just playing so much based off of our offense.
Yeah.
But my whole career I'm running on and off the field those whole 20 plays. So it's like I'm a decathlete, and I'm like, holy smokes, can you please just leave me on the field for 2 plays in a row for once?
Well, you know how much shifts and motions that Dayball has. So these poor receivers.
As soon as the announcer said it, and I'm pretty sure he said it, he's like, 20th play of the drive, I just looked at Alicia, I'm like, I don't miss that one bit. That sounds awful.
No timeouts, no TV timeouts. The D-line rotated 3 times.
And there's nothing worse than that for an O-lineman. Like, you're literally chewing on your tongue. You're just praying at that point. You're looking at both your guards like, are they as tired as I am? Oh, my God.
No. Only thing that kept me going was our rookie right tackle was head down, bent like this, and I was like, take a deep breath.
It's just it's the worst. And the D line.
The only thing that kept me going was how bad he was. I was like, all right, he's gonna tab out before I do. Like, let's just keep going, guys.
There's this picture somewhere. I don't know where it is. Arthur Smith has it on his desk, I think. But it was me in Miami last year. And I don't know if I'll send it to you after this. One of these days I'll figure out a way to screen share something.
It was early in the season too, right?
But and I did training camp in Atlanta. But Arthur was good to me. It's not like I was out there grinding, to say the least. And we get down there to Miami, and like the picture of me sitting on the bench, as soon as I saw it Monday morning, I knew I got nothing left, man. How am I going to get into the season? Like I'm toast. Oh, it's terrible. But those long drives, oh Lord help us all. But hey, winner chicken dinner, baby. On to the next one. You get to play a division rival, so that's going to be a blast. Philadelphia fans are so classy, so that'll be fun. You'll be that place. I don't care what anybody says. Chicago, like you know, even Patriot fans are wishy-washy, but in the Northeast, it is what it is. People are wired a little different in the Northeast. Their language is different, their accent's different, the way they act is different. Philadelphia is unlike any place in the league. I don't care what anybody says. Anytime I've been there, I'm like, get me out of here. And my dad played there for 3 years, but I was little. I don't really remember it, but Lord have mercy. It'll be wild. You're going to have a blast.
Yeah,
Oh,
we bust there too. They said they're gonna. It's not uncommon for them to for us to get egged on the way in.
I love it. Did you take a
Yeah,
train
fun.
somewhere or something you were telling me? That
Yeah,
shows I've never played for a New York. Well, I played for the Bills, who's obviously the only New
we
York
took
team.
we took a train to the Patriots in the preseason and to DC in the regular season.
Was it awesome or awful or both? A memory at
It's cool
least.
there. It's cool there, but coming back after the game is just miserable.
How long is it?
One to DC was like 3 hours, maybe 3.5 hours. The one to the Patriots there wasn't that long. It was like 2 hours. But like for some reason on the way back, we stopped at every stop and get this Jamil. Like I think he had like a concussion or something, and they kept him, so they like drove him back to Jersey from the Patriots stadium. They beat us Ubering from the stadium to the house with them getting their Uber broke down, so they had to wait 45 minutes for another Uber, and they still beat us back to the hotel
But
or
why
to the.
why were you stopping? Were you like picking up random people?
No, it was just
That's just train
stopping and
protocol.
not. I guess for that time because they didn't do that last time.
I have no idea. I've never been on a train in my life. So maybe like a Dollywood train, which is a little
It
theme park.
was it was just like a regular train too. It was a great experience, I guess.
Yeah, it's like going to London. It's like, yay, I said I went to London, or hey, I played in Mexico City. But looking back, it's like, thank God I can tell people about that because it's a cool story, but it's awful.
I never felt so old in my life than when I did when I played in London.
Oh,
That trip killed me.
you played there this year?
Yeah,
Yeah, we.
the we played the Packers. The good old Ryan Clark.
Oh
Jesus,
Lord. Yeah, we
he's pretty he's pretty good.
we played the Jets last year in London, and I was obviously not a spring chicken to say the least. And I'm just walking around in a different in England, and I'm like, all right, like what am I doing overseas? It's just wild, man. But hey, good
I
for Roger
I
Goodell in the league.
partially tore both my hip flexors.
Attaboy. Yeah, because you sat on a flight for
Like
10 hours.
first for first drive,
Nice.
dude was on me. He uh Clark. We were on silent. I was doing my head bob, and this dude had the head bob down to a millisecond. Because as I was snapping it, his hands in my chest. First third down, barely getting. You know when when your defense goes out first and there's a long drive
Oh yeah.
and it's like 30 minutes since like the last time you done something
Yep.
like besides like walking around or stretching. So that first third down came quick. He got off that ball real quick.
So it's literally 3 plays into the game, and you haven't done anything for half an hour.
Yeah,
And a Pro Bowl deep
flew,
tackle.
going to London.
Oh, there's not that. Yeah, you're right. That's the worst. And that's the thing that
I
like
felt so old.
I never had to defend myself after snapping the football. It was always now. Granted, the thing that sucks for the tight end is number one, you can't hear anything.
Can't hear.
Yeah, you did the jumbo tight end stuff. Ugh.
I didn't curse.
Thank you,
I
man.
held it in.
Hey, we're leading kids around here, brother. I love that. Thank you.
Uh,
Sorry if that was too loud. The mic here, hut hut.
yeah.
But I love, man. Appreciate that. But yeah, I mean, I can't hear anything over there. Nothing. So I'm just guessing. It's like, hey, Von Miller, when you move, I'll move. Oh, by the way, you're behind me. Oh crap, I'm in trouble. Like, so I guess it's pretty similar, but still, just trying to snap the ball and then having to defend yourself with somebody coming down your neck. Better you than me, old buddy. Better you than me. I'm just gonna keep teaching kids how to jump over hurdles. You got it. It's all yours.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, this week it's even worse because I'm covered every play. So when it's a even front team, it's a little simpler.
And you know who just gets better as the season goes on?
Hmm.
Mr. Fletcher Cox. Is he healthy?
Yeah, he's ready to go. They got Linval Joseph at the nose now. Um, they got a rookie who's a gigantor. He's like 6'9", 350. And they got Sue. They got Hargraves. They got a lot of guys. It'll be fun.
I tell you what, man. Obviously, I played against Brandon Graham a lot throughout my career. I got a ton of respect for him. He's like a squattier, thicker Jerry Hughes. He's just a stud.
That's what he is.
Yeah, and
He talks a lot of trash.
oh,
That's
the whole
fun.
game. He's the Kevin Garnett of football. But uh, but Linval was at East Carolina when I was at Marshall, so I've been around him my whole career. He's awesome. But I tell you, Hargraves one that gave us the most issues last year in Atlanta. I mean, that dude was a man possessed. He's the one that goes unnoticed
Yeah.
because the other guys are bigger names. He wrecks the whole game.
Hmm.
He's a stud.
Yep. Yep.
Well,
100%.
playoff football, baby. Bobby Johnson, get your mind right, get your guys going. Dabes, hand the ball to 26 a lot. That's probably a good recipe for
This
success.
dude's pretty good.
Wow.
He's pretty good.
Yeah.
I've never been around a guy that like that to do the tank. Squats more than me, benches more than me, cleans more than me.
His, his thighs are
Just
small, aren't they? He's a freak.
his
He's a
lockers,
freak.
his lockers right next to mine, and his quads are just gigantic.
But
Make no sense.
yeah, but once again, that goes right back to the Brian Dable. Like, he's disgruntled. It's hard to hide in the NFL when you're disgruntled. You're sick of the same crap with an organization, and you just want to change the scenery. I mean, and the fans are trashing you. You know, everybody. You're on ESPN because you're the best back in the league. Well, top five, let's just say. There's a lot of great talented
Hmm.
backs in the league, but the minute you get around a Brian Dable, it's like, all right, man. Regardless of what's happened here in the past, and regardless of kind of the negative energy I have, I want to rock with this dude. And I knew
Yeah,
that was going to happen. I was just praying for Dable's sake and for your sake, and that he was able, this Quan was able to kind of give Dave's a chance, and I'm glad he did because now it's fun to watch that sucker run the ball. Holy smokes!
yeah, he's a great dude too. He really works his tail off, and never been around someone more competitive.
Yeah,
Him and Dragon, literally, this dude is. They're playing ping pong from when meetings are over. They play ping pong until we had to do something.
it's awesome. That's like I tell everybody at Triple F. One of the first things I put in our players' lounge is a ping pong table. I'm like, guys, when I say it's like pro football around here, like this ping pong table is one of the biggest parts of it. The amount of ping pong matches and energy after a pro football practice is insane.
Yeah, dudes are drenched.
Oh yeah, 100
They're
percent.
drenched.
And half the time they are cussing each other. Half the time they're screaming and yelling, and it's the best. But yeah, that dude's special. There's no doubt about that. I'm glad that everything worked out exactly how it was supposed to. But even like Brandon Jacobs in Oakland, I saw a little clip of him the other day. Like everybody wants to trash these dudes. Like, hey man, the same old thing gets old. Gets old, and when you get a new head coach that knows how to lead men and do things the right way, and you get a little burst of energy, it changes everything. Which is why teams like the Buffalo Bills and other teams in the league, the New York Giants, they just you see Doug Peterson, he's done it twice. Like
Mhm.
I don't know him at all, but I know that he's gone to two places that weren't winning and immediately won. Like it's Andy Reid. Like you look at these guys, then you look at other dudes, and it's like they don't know how to lead men. And listen, if you don't have a quarterback, it doesn't matter. But it's awesome to see what you guys are doing, man. It fires me up. I've said that 10 times, but I'm juiced and I haven't told you. Yes, party. All right, all right, old buddy. Well, I'm not going to keep you up too late on a game week. Go beat the Eagles. I love you, man. I miss you. I can't wait to get you here and get you around all these kids. Let you impact this community here in Knoxville. Love on these combine guys a little bit, but Either way, man, you know how much I love you. Ball out. I'll be watching.
Love you,
All
brother.
right, buddy.
Hut, hut.
Hut, hut. Later, bro.